Are we really alone in this universe? This is a question everyone has considered at some point in their lives. With over 100 million galaxies and counting, it's still a valid question. UFO sightings have become commonplace, leading many people to conclude that we are not alone. Sightings of strange aircraft and strange creatures have continued to appear in the news, although they are often quickly covered up. The secrecy and speed with which this news story is removed from circulation has led many people to believe that the government may be hiding evidence of UFOs and perhaps the existence of extraterrestrial beings. Number 1. The reluctance of air forces around the world to confront unidentified flying objects could be rooted in the uncertainty and mystery surrounding UFO technology. This caution was reflected in an intriguing incident captured in a leaked United States Air Force video dated October 1, 2023. In this video, a fighter pilot is seen being ordered to escort an unlicensed aircraft, identified that suddenly appeared in the vicinity of a military installation of great strategic importance. As the pilot approached Mexico City, his attention was drawn to what appeared to be a small flying saucer suspended just above his left wing. At first, the situation seemed under control and within the normal parameters of an air escort. However, the calm was interrupted when the unidentified craft altered its course and began to aggressively confront the combat aircraft, triggering a situation of risk and tension for the pilot, who was forced to constantly monitor the situation. Despite the clear potential threat posed by the alien ship, the pilot was not authorized to respond with lethal force, as the ship showed no signs of using dangerous weaponry. This decision, while necessary to avoid uncontrolled escalation, raised questions about how military forces should deal with such encounters in the future. Number 2. For decades, rumors have circulated about encounters with otherworldly beings, and now an unprecedented time has arrived. The U.S. Navy officer finally breaks his silence to reveal the unimaginable, a glimpse into the enigmatic world of UFOs and evidence of extraterrestrial life. But what does the United States Navy know that they have kept hidden from the public for so long? Could this be the irrefutable proof that humanity has sought for centuries? Recently, the Pentagon has verified the authenticity of new leaked videos and images showing multiple UFO sightings by United States Navy personnel. One of the leaked videos shows 3 pyramid-shaped UFOs hovering over the USS Russell in July 2019. The UFOs performed surprising aerial maneuvers, accompanying U.S. warships for several days. The unidentified aircraft showed the ability to remain stationary in strong winds, surpassing the capabilities of known balloons or drones. The Department of Defense has confirmed the authenticity of the images and is conducting an ongoing investigation into these enigmatic phenomena. Leaked materials received by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp show unclassified footage of meetings designed to educate the U.S. intelligence community about UFOs in restricted airspace. Number 3. In a recent revelation that challenges conventional understanding of the cosmos, John Ramirez, a former CIA officer, has come to light with compelling evidence about UFOs that has allegedly been hidden from the public for years. Witnesses, experts and informants share his stories, weaving a web of uncertainty, secrecy and undeniable evidence. Ramirez, a retired CIA expert with 25 years of experience, has attracted attention for his knowledge of unidentified aerial phenomena encountered throughout his career. Ramirez's revelations shed light on the mysteries related to UFOs and the involvement of the United States government. He discusses encounters with reptilian extraterrestrials, beings of reptilian ancestry who live among humans, and their potential influence. Ramirez's credibility is enhanced by his distinguished career within the CIA, where he held several positions related to intelligence operations. Ramirez's experience also extends to guiding investigators in using the Freedom of Information Act to obtain UFO-related information from various agencies. he highlights the importance of the involvement of the United States Air Force and its potential influence on the secrecy surrounding the occupants of the UFOs. Ramirez's revelations are part of a broader trend of disclosures by military and intelligence personnel about UFO encounters. Prominent figures such as Lou Elizondo and John Brennan have also discussed the possibility of non-human intelligence and advanced technology related to UFOs. However, skepticism persists around the claims made by Ramirez and others. Experts emphasize the need for verifiable evidence, rigorous scientific research, and transparency. While the recent increase in UFO sightings and disclosures is intriguing, the scientific community highlights the importance of distinguishing anecdotal accounts from well-documented data. Recent efforts in Congress, including hearings on FANI and proposed Pentagon transparency legislation, reflect a shift toward recognition and attention to the UFO phenomenon. These initiatives seek to gather credible information, evaluate the significance of sightings, and determine whether there is evidence of non-human intelligence or advanced technology. Astrophysicists and astronomers discuss the challenges of interpreting UFO sightings due to possible misidentifications and the need for a complete data set for analysis. While recent Pentagon reports and leaked videos add to the narrative, the scientific community is seeking more conclusive evidence to support claims of extraterrestrial contact. Overall, the UFO phenomenon continues to intrigue and captivate the public, generating discussions on a global level. The quest for understanding, transparency, and rigorous scientific investigation remains the focus of efforts to unravel the mysteries surrounding UFOs and possible encounters with non-human intelligence. Number 4. The Westle Incident occurred in 1966 and is reported to be the largest mass UFO sighting ever recorded. This incident occurred when approximately 300 students and some staff at a school in Melbourne witnessed multiple UFOs flying silently through the air before landing in a nearby field. Although there has been much speculation about this incident over the years, there is one testimony that stands out among the many eyewitness accounts. The testimony was from a science teacher at the school. He was alerted to the UFO event by a hysterical student and ran outside to see what all the commotion was about, and everything changed in that moment. Andrew, the science teacher, was skeptical and considered UFO sightings to be mere hoaxes, but when he saw what he described as a car-sized object with a metal bar sticking out of the air, he experienced a rapid change of mind. Andrew explained that he witnessed the most amazing flying object he had ever seen. He explained that every time he tried to get close to the object, it would accelerate slowly and then accelerate quickly before moving away from them. This occurred for about 20 minutes before the aircraft completely disappeared from view. The principal tried to prevent anyone from talking about the incident, even going so far as to threaten severe punishments. But you surely don't expect kids who had the privilege of seeing an alien spaceship to keep quiet about it. Number 5. Kenneth was traveling on a privately owned airplane when he suddenly saw a bright light flash on one of its wings. He looked around and noticed a chain of 9 unidentified flying objects approaching Mount Rainier. He explained that he could clearly see his outline against the snow as he approached the mountain. Kenneth further explained that he saw them flying very close to the tops of the mountains, directly southeast down the Hog's Gorge. He said they flew in a long chain line, as if they were connected. Kenneth Arnold's original description was that these bright objects reflected sunlight. Furthermore, he stated that the flying objects were approximately 20 or 25 miles away, give or take, and that he could not see a tail on them. Kenneth watched the chain of saucer-shaped objects fly for about 3 minutes, zigzagging between the high mountain peaks. He described them as flat, similar to a pie plate, and so shiny that they reflected the sun like a mirror. However, Kenneth's account was met with ridicule, which made him quite resentful, but he still stood by his testimony because, according to him, he knew what he had seen. Number 6. The Chicago UFO sighting occurred on November 7, 2006, at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. Flight 446 was preparing to head to North Carolina when a United Airlines employee on the runway noticed a dark gray metallic aircraft hovering over one of the gates. He must have raised the alarm, because about 11 other employees and some non-airport staff admitted to seeing this flying saucer minutes before it disappeared. Witnesses claimed that the sighting occurred around 4:15 p.m., and that the aircraft hovered above the gate for about 5 minutes before quickly ascending into the sky. One begins to wonder how the Frisbee managed to hide from the Airport Control Center's birdwatching radars. The Federal Aviation Administration simply considered it a weather phenomenon and refused to investigate the story, even though there were about 15 witnesses whose accounts lined up perfectly. Number 7. In 1952, there was mass hysteria over flying saucers. There had been a significant increase in UFO sightings and some extraterrestrial abductions, so everyone was on alert and on guard. Washington, D.C. was known for these rumors, and the Big Boom was one of the biggest stories. There were so many reports of unidentified flying objects circulating that a special Air Force intelligence unit had to be deployed to investigate what was happening in Washington airspace. What got people talking was that when radar operators at National observed objects flying near the White House and Capitol, 2 F-94 aircraft were sent to investigate what these objects were. When the planes approached the mysterious objects that appeared on their radar, the objects simply disappeared. The lack of concrete evidence proving that these were simply regular planes was one of the things that fueled local rumors about UFOs. It also fueled the conspiracy that the government was hiding evidence proving the existence of extraterrestrial life. Number 8. In this story we will relive how the Australian pilot Frederick Valentic disappeared without a trace under suspicious circumstances. On October 21, 1978, Frederick was part of a training flight. During the flight, Frederick radioed Melbourne Air Traffic Control to inform them that he was accompanied by an aircraft flying about 1,000 feet above him, and that it was also having engine trouble. Air Traffic Control responded that there were no aircraft with him, at least none that they could detect. Frederick radioed back to the control room explaining that he was in fact being followed and that he could see a large aircraft above him with 4 bright landing lights. He explained that his first idea was that another pilot was playing a prank on him, but a training flight was a terrible time to prank any pilot. Furthermore, he reported that the mysterious aircraft was orbiting him and had a green light. When Air Traffic Control tried to get more details by asking what type of aircraft it was, Frederick responded that it wasn't exactly an aircraft, and as soon as he said those words, the transmission cut off with a metallic scraping sound and poof! All contact with the control tower and Frederick's aircraft was lost. Meticulous sea and air searches were conducted to find Frederick and his missing plane, for not only was the transmission lost, but he was never seen or heard from again. All measures taken to find the lone pilot proved fruitless. To this day, no one knows where pilot Frederick is or could be. Numerous theories have been put forward to disassociate Frederick's disappearance from UFOs, but all were sufficiently debunked because they had no physical evidence to support them. Frederick's disappearance was widely attributed to a UFO, not only because he disappeared without a trace, but because there were many other reports of UFO sightings that night in the same region where he disappeared with his plane. This, of course, leaves more questions than answers, but we all love a good mystery. Number 9. The origin story of AMUA. Are we finally being visited by worlds beyond our solar system? Has our blue planet finally been noticed by beings from other galaxies? Or is this just a fragment of a broken civilization that has found its way to us? These unknowns have worried scientists since the appearance of this unidentified flying object, which crossed the Earth's atmosphere in the fall of 2017. The Earth received its first interstellar visitor, AMUA, which translates as messenger from afar. But what makes it so special? This is actually not the first time that unidentified objects have visited Earth. Thousands of sightings of unidentified flying objects are reported each year, although some are false. But none have been as captivating and mysterious as this one. When we think about UFOs, we usually imagine flying saucers with extraterrestrial beings with oval heads and slender bodies visiting our planet. However, the reality of a UFO is broader. It is a term that covers any strange object not previously identified or catalogued, and that probably does not have its origin on Earth. It could be a space rock, debris from outer space, or even an alien ship if we tip the balance towards conspiracy theories. Now, with that out of the way, let's continue with our precious AMUA. The discovery of this interstellar object was a long-awaited event. For decades, scientists had predicted and anticipated such a momentous event to solidify our beliefs in the existence of worlds beyond our solar system, and now we have concrete, irrefutable evidence that the universe extends beyond the borders of our system. Solar. However, this story has an intriguing twist. Although scientists expected visits from other planetary systems, AMUA was not exactly what astronomers had in mind. Many scientists probably expected to encounter a large space rock, round or irregular in shape, similar to those we already knew. But AMUA is something very different. Its shape has aroused great curiosity. At first, astronomers thought it looked like a cigar or even a hot dog, but upon closer inspection, they realized it was shaped like a pancake. Furthermore, AMUA is relatively small, with dimensions of approximately 377 feet long, 364 feet wide, and 62 feet thick. Although this may seem large for an interstellar object, it is actually quite small. On October 19, 2017, astronomer Robert Warwick made an absolutely astonishing discovery. He probably didn't expect his day to end with the discovery of one of the most fascinating objects ever observed, but fate had something in store for him. Using the revolutionary Pan-STARRS telescope at the Haleakala Observatory in Hawaii, he detected this strange object crossing our atmosphere. At that point, 40 days had passed since AMUA passed its closest point to the Sun, and it was already 21 million miles from Earth, moving away from the Sun. To put it into perspective, that's about 85 times the distance between the Moon and the Earth. At the time of its discovery, AMUA was extremely unique, being the first of its kind ever found in our atmosphere. The International Astronomical Union initially designated it C/2017 U1, as it was initially thought to be a comet. However, since it had no tail, it was reclassified as 2017 U1, which ruled out its identification as an asteroid. Once it was irrefutably determined to have originated outside our solar system, the nomenclature changed rapidly. Colloquially it is known as AMUA, but scientifically it was designated 1I/2017 U1. The name itself reflects the belief that this object is a messenger sent from very distant places with the intention of communicating with human civilization. Critical information about the object's trajectory was obtained through the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope, which was part of the SpaceGuard survey, and the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope, CFHT. But that's not all. The composition and shape of AMUA were deduced thanks to the Very Large Telescope and the Gemini South Telescope, both located in Chile, along with the Keck 2 telescope in Hawaii. AMUA is relatively small and not very bright. Furthermore, since it was already several miles away from our planet at the time we noticed it, observing it turned out to be an arduous task. In fact, the object was not seen in stereo high 1A observations near its perihelion on September 9, 2017 because its brightness dropped to about magnitude 13.5 as it moved further and further away from Earth. By the end of October, its brightness had already decreased to an apparent magnitude of 23. In mid-December 2017, AMUA was moving too fast and was even too faint to be studied by the largest ground-based telescopes. Regarding the origin of AMUA, we do not have precise information about its provenance. However, the characteristics of AMUA have provided us with several clues about its origin. Apparently, it is an interstellar object, which means it has entered our solar system from interstellar space.